In this video, I'm going to talk about Aptos Build's latest billing system. So you might remember, if you're an existing user of Aptos Build, that the old system was bundle-based. So if you were a scaling customer, for example, you might get 5 million compute units per 5 minutes, 16 concurrent streams, and 8 no-code indexing processes. And the amount you would get would depend on your account tier. Now, the problem with this system is that you would essentially always be paying for things that you don't use. For example, maybe you don't stream, but you're sort of paying for that as part of your bundle. To improve this situation, we switched to a pay-as-you-go billing system, and I'm going to talk about that here. So just some brief definitions to get started with. So a user is someone who has an account on Aptos Build, like deport at aptoslives.com. An organization is what actually owns projects and resources. They can have many members and admins, but just one owner. Notably, payment methods are attached to organizations, not users. You'll notice that organizations get a monthly credit. Again, this is an organization level thing, not a user level thing. Then system limits and budgets we will talk about in a bit. So first off, let's just talk a little bit about billing. So currently, each organization is granted a credit per month. If you attach a payment method, you get a higher credit. Once you've attached a payment method, if your usage for that month exceeds the credit, we will charge you for any additional usage. So if you accrue $700 worth of usage and your monthly credit is $500, we will charge you $200 to your payment method at the end of the month. Now, usage of our services is measured across a few different dimensions. Generally, if you're making API requests, this is counted in terms of compute units. You'll see that we have a cost per compute unit here. On average, a request costs between 50 to 200 compute units. We have various metrics for processor usage, and we also have metrics for transaction stream usage. So as you stream data through our transaction stream, that will accrue a cost. Let's go look at Aptos Build. So this here is the Aptos Build usage tab. Here you can see how much usage you've been accruing in these various cost dimensions across your organization. So in this case, 385,000 compute units, this megabits of transaction streaming, and various processor cost dimensions. You can slice and dice this. So if I just want to see usage for a particular application, also known as a resource, you can do that. You can also slice it up by a particular type of resource, in this case, processors for no-code indexing. And you'll also notice one additional feature here is the ability to set a budget. So this $500 monthly credit, if I'm not a customer of Aptos Build, this will sort of cut me off at that point. If I am a customer of Aptos Build, where I've attached a payment method, we will instead let you keep accruing usage beyond your monthly credit, and you will be charged for additional usage. Now, to protect your wallet, you have the ability to set monthly and daily budgets. There are little tooltips here explaining how each of these work, but it's essentially as you imagine. I can go in here and set a 10 USD monthly budget, and then this will make sure that I won't accrue any usage beyond $10 a month. Now, this is enforced slightly async, so it's possible you go a little bit over this amount, but it should cut you off around that point, the billing tab. So here you can see some of the information we showed in the docs, such as the cost dimensions, like how much each unit of something costs, and how much your free allowance is. You'll see that I have a $500 free allowance because I have attached a payment method to my account. If you haven't done so, there will be a button allowing you to add a payment method. Clicking this button takes you to the management page for your Stripe account. We manage our payments through Stripe. Here you can change the payment method, view some of your previous invoices, and also cancel your subscription if you wish. The final thing to discuss here is system limits. So billing is all done in terms of dollar amounts, and the way we charge you is all in dollar terms, but we also have the notion of system limits. These aren't declared in dollar terms. These are usually represented in the units that make sense for that system, such as compute units, number of concurrent streams, number of processes, database size, things like that. So they're usually either instant values or measured over a very short term, like compute units per 5 minutes. These limits are in place just to protect our infrastructure. Whether you do or don't have a payment method attached means you will get different limits here. As with some of the other things with Aptos Build, if you need higher limits, you can reach out to us and we can create bumps for this stuff. The final thing to discuss is cost dimensions. So I'm not going to go into all of these, but a common question is around how compute units work. So requests to Aptos build APIs are measured in terms of compute units. So we have quite a few APIs. The main ones you're probably familiar with are the Node API and Indexer API. But if you make read requests to the GraphQL API we create for a no-code indexing processor, that's measured in terms of compute units. Some of the keyless services are measured in compute units, etc. So compute unit calculation right now is fairly simple, really. In lieu of doing something rather complicated, all we really do is just see how long does your request take to process and multiply that by some multiplier. So we generally assume that if the upstream takes longer to handle your request, we will charge you more compute units. One exception to this system is Node API endpoints that have a notion of gas, so transaction simulation or view functions. What we do in that case is we just take the gas cost and multiply that by some multiplier. We do this because we figure out, well, these endpoints are already metered by virtue of gas, so let's just use that. That's essentially it. If you want to learn more about how other custom engines work, you can come to the billing docs, which will be included in the description of the video, and read all about it here. And that's it. That's Aptos Labs billing. Thank you.